elder statesman, but still pretty young.
Unlike the country she hails from, there was never anything neutral about Switzerland's Martina Hingis. She had the arrogance of youth and a keen and agile mind that was most rewarded on the slow, rubbery hard courts of the Australian Open.
Yeah, Grand Slam is always something special. You want to come so far you can, but I think I have a good chance. I hope I win.
Martina Hingis became the best player in the world, a haughty, high-handed number one. And for 6 straight years, she reached the final here in Melbourne. 3 years in a row, she won the title. So if you think her return to the game is a sentimental stroll down memory lane, think again.
If you feel like you don't have the chance to win Grand Slams, to make the top 10, and to be able to beat the top players out there, I think that's what I'm aiming for. But every comeback is different, and it will just take time.
She's had her way through the first 4 rounds, packing the stands and piquing the interest of a sport famous for flameouts and comebacks.
I wouldn't necessarily not say that it was easy. I just play really well.
Martina Hingis striking the ball with authority.
Boy, welcome back. I'm becoming more of a believer in this comeback. How great is that?
Terrific. She's going to scare the daylights out of whoever is left ahead of her.
But now in the quarterfinal, she faces the women's U.S. Open champion, Kim Clijsters, the sort of opponent whose heavy ground game and relentless attack drove away Hingis years ago.
She's the favorite one, and I'm just the underdog right now. Coming into this event, I would have never thought I'd get that far, and now here I am, and right now I really don't have anything to lose.
So is this where the comeback stalls?
Well, I think I have to be better and not just as good as I was. The whole game has gotten so relentless that you can't let down ever. 1 point here or there, they smell the chance, they're right on top of you.
No matter what happens, Martina Hingis has shown that this game can still be played below the rim. Imagination, guile, and whimsy have returned to women's tennis. It may not be enough to win with, but try to watch her play without smiling. You cannot stay neutral watching this Swiss.
There's the sparkling resume. 3 of her 5 Grand Slam titles down here in 3 consecutive years. Also lost the final 3 consecutive years, 2000, 01, and 02. Quite an accomplished doubles player. She's alive in the mixed doubles down here with Bupati, a very formidable team, and they played an hour and 45 minutes or so yesterday, so she's been just kind of soldiering on. They're maybe favorites to win the mixed doubles.
You know what? That was her practice. She was kind of like of the John McEnroe school, where she liked to use her doubles as practice for her singles. And you know what? That probably gave her a chance to kind of relax and get the kinks out, so she'll be ready for today.
Will she be ready, though, for the pace and the power of Kim Clijsters? They, of course, have met times before, but both players kind of discounting the previous head-to-head. The most recent was 4 years ago in the semifinals of Sydney. Hingis acknowledging that Clijsters has come a long way in her game since then.
Clijsters wasn't Clijsters, and Hingis was a different player then. So, you know what? I throw in the head-to-head out the window. Today is a new day, the new beginning, and, maybe a short rivalry, because who knows how long Kim Clijsters is going to play.
Oh, we saw the conditions impact that last match. Sheeter putting up pretty meek resistance in the heat. Hingis admitted she was tired at the end of a 2-set match against Samantha Stosur. This should be a much more physical test in tougher conditions. That was a night match, and there is Hingis. She can look to her left and see pictures of herself as a 3-time champion here. Look at her checking out this kind of hall of fame. These players make their way from the locker room to the court, a little smile on her face. This is why she came back, though, Brad, moments like this.
She's just about to come to herself right here. Well, there she is. There's late 90s.
Kim Clijsters, she won't find herself on this wall, but she is the U.S. Open champion, and questions last couple of weeks have been about the health of her hip and her back, and her opponents have said, wait a second, if you're that injured and you can see the left thigh wrap right there, how come you're wiping us out in straight sets? Clijsters should be the favorite of this crowd. Hingis was something of the villain in knocking out Australia's hope, Samantha Stosur, in the previous round, and the one-time fiancé of Leighton Hewitt continues to be very popular down here, Clijsters, so she figures to enjoy the support of most of these folks today.
Women's singles action replacing the semi-finals here of the Australian Open Championship brought to you by Kia in association with Gallagher. Would you please welcome from Switzerland, Martina Hingis. second seed in the championship from Belgium, Clijsters.
So nice smiles and a look around from both players who will be able to handle the pressure of the occasion. This is something that Hingis handled so well in her first incarnation as a tennis player. Clijsters at times hasn't. Who do you give the edge to today?
Well, about 3 hours ago, I was really going to give the big edge to Clijsters, but the heat has cooled down. I think that's good for Martina. The forehand, here's my tail of the tape. I give the big edge here to Clijsters, a superior shot. Backhand, I give to Hingis. She's got a tricky backhand. The serve, obviously, I give to Clijsters, the weak part of Hingis' game. The volley, Hingis is the best volleyer in the female game. Return, they both got very good returns. Hingis got a much weaker serve, but I give that even. Foot speed, it's a tough one to call. Hingis reads the play, Clijsters faster. I will go even on that as well. But the big thing, the intangibles, I give to Clijsters. She's been there, done it before lately, and the big X factor to me is that 110K second serve. That thing's a meatball ready to be hit. If Clijsters takes advantage of it, she's going through the semis. But if she's a little bit injured, who knows? But that second serve I'm worried about. I think you could take her second serve out, Chris.
I don't know about that. Her previous opponents have not been able to serve the meatball back to her, but they have not been in Clijsters' class. This anticipated match inside Rod Laver Arena for a spot in the semifinals opposite Maresmo, inside to Dick Enberg and Mary Carrillo.
They both use the expression meatball, then they throw it to us.
Oh, that's appropriate.
There we go.
Very
again.
appropriate.
Rod Laver Arena, and it's exciting to be here because there's so much anticipation about this match. It's not only the comeback story of Martina Hingis, but it's the comeback year last year of Kim Clijsters, who has finally returned here where they referred to her as Aussie Kim.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, she's a very popular player all the time. There's no denying that. But I don't know. The guys were thinking that maybe Clijsters would be the fan favorite because she was with Leighton Hewitt for so long, and that Hingis knocked off Stozer, the Aussie player, the other night. I think they like Hingis here. This is a very hip, sophisticated tennis crowd, and they know that Martina Hingis brings a brand of tennis that they haven't watched for years. And that's why I think that they'll get a kick out of Hingis. She played Stozer the other night, and Sam Stozer, a very young Aussie, very talented Aussie. It was packed here, a night match, which is always a lot of fun. But for the first set, Stozer there in the pink trying to make things happen, and Hingis explaining to her and the rest of us just why she is so tough. Great anticipation. Just uses up the whole court, finds the short angles, and does things that, you know, Sam Stozer, she's a young kid. She's just never faced that kind of player before. The first set was over in a hurry. The second set got tougher. Stozer settled down a little bit and started making Hingis play, and Martina even admitted that towards the end of this second set, she was getting tired, but she prevailed in straights. Had it gone three, maybe Hingis isn't here playing Clijsters today. Dick, you know, she's only been playing professional tennis again for a few weeks. She's played a lot of tennis. She's got a lot of matches in her. Once again, she has got to, if she wants to try to beat Clijsters, she's got to do it in straights.
Well, going back to that Stozer match, in that tiebreak, Stozer was serving 5-2 for the second set.
Yeah.
Who knows what might have happened in the third, but Martina Hingis has yet to sacrifice a set in the championship, and the smile as big as her game, which brings back so many fond memories of her terrific play that started back in her early teens.
She knows she's going to be facing a lot of power. You know, Clijsters is big off the ground off of both sides, and her serve is better than Hingis's. But we don't know how bad her leg is. We don't know how bad Kim's back is. She says she's on anti-inflammatories and painkillers, so she is not in pain. But believe me, Martina Hingis will do her very best to test the limits of the physical fitness of Kim Clijsters. This could be very interesting.
And Clijsters will be testing that soft second serve of Hingis. Number 2, Clijsters, the wild card, Martina Hingis. We're ready for play at Laver. And 15,000 here to witness in the late afternoon, about 5:30 Melbourne time. This matchup of Hingis and the number 2 seed Clijsters. It's been a very formful championship. 7 of the top 8 seeds made it through to the quarterfinals. The one exception, this woman, a wild card.